My first product was a scratch-off map, a product that essentially all the gurus on YouTube that time were using as a bad idea. Like, you have to be stupid to sell this product. Don't go there. So I had to make a hard decision and sell my house to save the business.
Oh,
And the reason selling the house was acceptable is, and I stayed in touch with quite a few people over this time, over all the ups and downs. And seeing them succeed definitely helps, as you said, seeing what's possible. And obviously, people go to crazy highs in this business, and it does show you that you can do this too.
when you sold the business, what was the monthly revenue you are making and profit approximately?
I think that the challenging parts were logistics, so making sure you're always in stock, you forecast properly, and also qualities at the right levels. And cash flow management is always complicated. PPC can get pretty complicated too. All depends on how much you enjoy it or how good of a partner you have for this. And one other thing, obviously, AI is dominating the world. So Rufus is a big part of Amazon shopping experience now. Everyone's talking about these days is optimizing for Rufus. And the way you optimize for Rufus is
Hi everyone, welcome on the Amazon Seller Truth, the podcast where we interview Amazon sellers who share the realities of their business. Today I'm with Andri, who made the whole process from selling to Amazon to selling his company and even starting a SaaS company, a software company for Amazon sellers. Andri, thanks for being here. How are you?
thanks for having me. Doing great. Doing great. Thank you, Nas. Just introduce myself, Andri Sadlak, 8-figure ecom brand builder. Built and sold my own brand, tried many things, failed in many ways. Currently also a co-founder of Product Opinion, which is an award-winning tool and the first ever app that allows you to watch your customers shop.
Perfect, great. When did you start selling on Amazon?
Back in 2017, I think it was December 2017.
Okay. And how did you discover about Amazon? How did you discover the process, etc.?
Um, my path was not really traditional because I didn't take any courses, any programs. But I was looking for something to do because I quickly realized on my then real estate development job, I wouldn't be a partner and there's no real growth for me. So I decided I'll do something on the side. I'll build my own business. And I started asking my friends who were somewhat in the remote work and online business space. And somehow I got connected to a friend, now friend, who was selling on Amazon back then, and he essentially explained to me what he's doing and how it works. And that was my initial source of basic knowledge. I could ask him
Mhm.
questions and try myself essentially.
Okay, so you didn't take any courses, you just follow his advices to start selling on Amazon?
Yeah, and to be fair, I should say I also watched a lot of YouTube videos, joined a few Facebook communities back then, and asked some questions from time to time. So it was like a common. Um, I was trying to find like-minded people and kind of build my business off of that.
Okay, okay, got it. And how did you find the first product you are selling on Amazon?
I've gone the traditional route of researching and essentially analyzing all the numbers. And I think I went through over 100 different product ideas in the beginning. And then I narrowed it down to the ones I really personally liked, something I could see myself being involved in. Because to me, I can't just sell anything, it has to have a meaning. So back then, my first product that I narrowed down was a scratch off map, a product
Okay.
that essentially all the gurus on YouTube that time were using as a bad idea. Like, you have to be stupid to sell this product. Don't go there. And somehow I ended up selling that one as the first one. It took me quite a while to develop it because I'm quite particular. I wanted to make sure that whatever I launch is better than anything else in the
Mm.
space. So I designed it essentially myself, tried so many different factories, different countries even. So yeah, that was quite a journey to pick that initial product.
How long does it take from the idea of selling that product to actually selling it on Amazon?
Oh gosh, that's a bad example because in my case it was probably like 8, 9 months.
8, 9 months. Okay. That's funny because a friend of ours, Steve, shared me a course when I started selling on Amazon, and the course was about selling map scratches, the same product.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, that was the exact same product.
That's how saturated it was.
Okay. So you took that these 8 9 months start selling this product. How did it went? How much did you invest in on that, and what was the beginning?
Yeah, again, I think I'm not the best example because that was my very first business. I didn't really pay too much attention to my expenses initially. I was like, whatever it takes, I'm gonna make it work. So I don't even know the exact number, but my best guess would be 10 to 15K was the initial investment, all in with all the samples, all the back and forth, um, and the first order and the launch. That takes some extra capital too. Um, and think the challenge in the beginning was actually when I just started was doing pretty well, to be honest. And it's probably because I launched in December and it is a giftable product. And by education, I'm an architect, so I just made sure that it looks visually appealing, and people who appreciate design would see that it's designed well. So I think it went pretty well. I had no idea how PPC works. I had no idea how everything else works on Amazon. I just knew that I had to be in stock, and I figured that process at that point. And all of a sudden, I see that sales are growing every day, and I just turned on auto campaign on PPC. I think that at that time, so first month or so, I was like, "Wow, this is easy."
I'm gonna be
But I
rich
learned it's
fast.
not. Exactly. But I learned pretty fast how many different issues you can be faced with.
Mm,
And long story short, first 6, 7 months or so, I was hit with quality issue,
yeah.
and my product, essentially the scratch off map couldn't be scratched. So people
Ah,
who scratch it would
which is a
scratch.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's quite a big problem because it's the main purpose of the product.
okay.
So I had to make some hard decisions back then. Essentially, all 5,000 units of that PO at the time, that purchase order, had to be sent to garbage, was not usable because you only know if it's scratchable or not when you scratch it. The scratch is done.
You didn't
So
order the product first to test it before ordering the big order?
we did for the first one, with
Okay.
not for the second one,
Yeah.
and not for the third one. So this was the third order,
Okay.
okay, the biggest one yet, and I only had one product at the time. And the challenge there, I think, also is in me going with making it in Ukraine.
Mm.
So the initial samples I was getting were made in China, but Chinese cannot export a world map
Mm.
that does not comply with Chinese regulations.
Okay. I didn't
I
know.
was like,
Yeah.
no, no, I can't just sell a map that shows the political view of the world that's
Okay.
only Chinese. It has to be the one that we expect in the United States and Canada, everywhere else, right? So mine was actually the only United Nations compliant web design. It was a good selling point. I think it would help me convert. But the challenge with making it in Ukraine was there's not really a big infrastructure built into um, product product manufacturing. So the like finding quality assurance
Mm.
was essentially a custom process that I had to develop myself after this issue happened.
Yeah. So after this issue happened, you still decide to stick on the same product, or what did you change?
I still stick to the same product, even the same manufacturer for a little bit. And as I said, we developed proper quality inspection process, way more comprehensive than anything else I've ever heard. It was like free stage, different people, but it was not an easy decision because with that order going wrong, I lost over 35K USD, so US dollars. And half of it, probably even more than half, was just borrowed funds because I realized it's cash intensive, it's going well, I can borrow from the bank. So I had to make a hard decision and sell my house to save the business.
Oh, right.
And the reason selling the house was acceptable is a week before this whole thing happened, my employer had a meeting with me and they were like, Andri, we no longer need you. We're going through restructuring. So you'll have another month or so with us and then you'll have to find something else. So I realized that I don't want to find something else. And the only thing that I had left was essentially that town home in a small town, Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada.
Mm.
And the market situation was in my favor. So the value of the house was slightly higher than what I paid for it initially.
Mm.
So I realized that I still have some money if I sell it.
Okay.
And I decided to sell it so that I can recover the business and go all in. And long story short, we spent 9 months traveling, going to Southeast Asia and working remotely, me and my wife. Um, and that's how I rebuilt the business.
Nice, 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 nice. That must have been a very hard decision to take, right? Uh,
I think it would have been much harder now.
mhm.
I think your priorities change with age
Yeah.
and your life experiences. But back then, I think that was the right decision for me.
Okay. 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 Then how was it? Did you launch new product around the same run? How did you manage to get the business back on top?
Yeah, so this issue happened around May, June, I think. Yeah, something like that. Maybe, yeah, I think it was around June. And in December, after fixing the quality inspection process, we were back in stock with the same product and another variation. And December, so the time it all happened, I was at 20K a month in sales revenue. December, we're back in stock. And that December, same year, we already crossed 50K a month in sales. And I was like, okay, this is working. I made it work. Now I can scale further. So I was the next 2 years or so, I was living very, very frugally, saving on everything I could. We eventually came back to Canada, to Vancouver, which is a city I always wanted to live in. And even there, we stayed very frugal and kept as much as possible reinvested back into the business so that I could launch more products. And in 3 years, I got to 15 different SKUs.
Okay. So you say you had a friend that helped you start on Amazon that gives you advice, etc. Was it an example of success that did you have an example of success to to think about to continue working on your product or
Yeah, I think that connection definitely helped a lot. But also, I generally love people and I love connecting over mutual values. So I started attending Amazon conferences and meeting others in the space, other brand builders. Um, and I stayed in touch with quite a few people over this time, over all the ups and downs.
Mm,
And seeing them succeed definitely helps, as you said, seeing
okay.
what's possible. And obviously, people go to crazy highs in
Mm,
this business.
mm,
And it does show you that you
it's
can do this
possible.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while you are making 50K a month, what was the profit approximately?
I think the profit ranged between 25 to 35%
Great.
profit
After
margin.
after ads, etc.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And that was like, so I started 2017.
Mm,
So this is like 2018 now. And then obviously with time, Amazon fees go up, PPC
mm,
goes up. So I don't know where that business is at right now because it actually changed hands twice now.
mm,
There's
mm.
the third owner at this point.
Oh, okay.
So me, somebody who bought from me, and now somebody who bought from them.
Mm,
But it looks like they're trying new things. They recently reached out to my wife's e-commerce email marketing agency, trying to build out proper flows and systems there. So it looks like it's still up and running pretty well.
okay. Okay, great. And you got contacted by the company who wanted to buy your business, or was it you that made the first step?
I did get emails from time to time from people expressing interest to do like a proper audit and assess if they'd want to buy. But the moment I decided to sell it, I did reach out to brokers myself, and that was my decision. But honestly, when I started the business, I did not intend to sell it. I had no idea it's even sellable, right?
What was the
But
goal
yeah,
at the beginning when you started? What was your goal at the beginning when
where
you
was the
started the
goal?
business?
I think that the reason I started was that location independence. I just wanted to be able
Mm,
to travel and control my own time and have that freedom. And eventually, obviously, to have that financial success, so that I can do whatever I want with my time and live wherever I want. But I didn't know the path to it is to an exit. But realistically, you get paid. Probably 80% of what you make is essentially is from the exit in this
okay.
business.
When you sold the business, what was the monthly revenue you are making and profit approximately?
We were almost reaching seven figures. And by the
Okay.
time I transferred the company, it was seven-figure company.
Mm.
And the guy who bought it from me had never had any business, so I essentially had to teach them everything.
Okay.
Um, so I still call it seven-figure business. By the time everything firmed up, I think it was at seven figures. And yeah, I think the best months I've had personally was like 250K-ish a month. That's also December because of the nature of the products.
Okay, that's great. For a first business you create, you were able to put that into seven figures and sell it within how many years did it take for that?
3 years.
3 years. Great,
Yeah.
great.
Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, oh, I actually sold it for way too low and I could probably have kept it for another year, double the size. But honestly, I still have no regrets because it allowed me to consider other opportunities, including my software. Um, so yeah, there's no real correct time to buy or sell. It's more so what are your life priorities right now?
Yeah, yeah. And what was the what would you say was the most challenging with the Amazon business?
Oh, there's so many. I think it all depends on your personal skill set and what you enjoy doing. I'm a big fan of connecting with the audience and doing everything marketing related. Like conversion is obviously my focus still is now. And I think that the challenging parts were logistics. So making sure you're always in stock, you forecast properly, and also qualities at the right levels. Um, and cash flow management is always complicated. Um, Yeah, I think this would be the biggest. PPC can get pretty complicated too. All depends on how much you enjoy it or how good of a partner you have for this. I wouldn't say I'm the best at PPC. I understand it enough probably to hire out and be able to ask the right questions and make sure we're moving in the right direction. But yeah, these three areas I would say.
How did you manage PPCs?
First, I did everything myself. First, probably like 2.5 years ish,
Yeah.
and right before the exit, I started testing different service providers. So when I sold, it was essentially outsourced at that point.
Okay, okay, great. So you were two on the business, you and your wife, right? When you
Yeah,
sold it?
yeah,
Okay, and you said that your main skills is on conversion, and that maybe lead you to create the second business, which is a SaaS company. So, did you face any specific challenge that made you think about this new software idea, or how was the transition?
yeah. Good question. I think the reason it happened so naturally is this first brand that I built myself. I as I said, the product was used the main product was used as, something you should not touch. You don't want to launch this product, and the reason I think it was successful is nobody else was doing what I was doing, which is building a community. And that community, and back then Facebook groups were pretty good, so an engagement was up there. You could easily connect with people. That's that was my focus. So I would say at least half of the time running that business was me building that community. And the way I would build it is not only just become friends online with people who like traveling, in my case, but I would also involve them in product design, and I would involve them in launches. So I would design products together with that Facebook group and get their opinions on everything. So split testing was part of it too. I would show them different options and they would tell me what they prefer. So by the time I go live on Amazon, it's the best possible product design in that space. And that was for all of the different maps I launched, which were like different sizes, different colors, national parks map, and also both the hanger frames, which was another big product line that by the time I sold was like 50% of the revenue. Uh, Everything I did there was in consultations and collecting shopper insights from my target audience on Facebook. So it was very hard for anyone else to compete because I would come up with new ideas essentially. My brand would be the one introducing the better solutions. And then everybody else would copy from me, right? And quality was great and visuals were amazing. And I would show all of the visuals I'm working on to the community, get their feedback, ask what messages matter. Do you care if it if it's a Dura Scratch technology, so it's super durable when you scratch it. They're like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Definitely say that. And would you want to see these models? There are these models I'm trying to pick. They would tell me which ones they resonate with the most. On every single thing you can ask, I would ask them. And then when you launch, you give them slight discount and be like, hey, thank you for all the support. You contributed to this launch. Here's 10% off or something like that. And then first day, second day, first week, sales go like crazy. Amazon sees and shows you up organically, right? So that was my approach. And I think because I was so customer centric with my brand, developing a software that allows you to do that was a natural progression.
Okay, that's great. That's good. So you are building a community around your product and your brand at the same time that you are building the Amazon brand, and you sold the community also with it's part of the value
Yeah,
of
it was
the
part of
business,
the
right?
assets,
Okay.
unfortunately, because I don't think much happened in that
Yeah.
community since.
Eh, where does that come from? The community vision, the fact that you are building with the community. Did you write some book about that, about being customer centric, or was it something from your professional background?
No, I don't think there was any external information. There was like, this is the recipe, and I followed. I think it was just natural to me. Um, like even with the software, I feel like I'm in charge of marketing, but I don't really do it the traditional way, at least yet. And everything I've been doing in life was like through personal connections and giving in advance, like helping people, supporting them, and then it somehow miraculously comes back, right? So I think that philosophy kind of led me to that because I wanted to make sure whatever I create is needed and it helps others. So it's
Mm,
not just an algorithm play; it's
yeah.
a real value to the people, right?
So what was the process to create the software? It was how long ago did you start on it?
I think about 3.5 years now that we developed the first beta version.
Okay. And what was the process? I see it was the same, consulting the community first, building the first features.
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty similar because I also started a mastermind community for other brand builders. We named it Ecom Brand Builder, and we probably had 25, 30-ish people in it at that point. And I shared what I'm working on, and I have a partner, actually two partners now. One is the CTO, and one is the original partner, who's the CEO, Matt Costin, and he already developed at that time a very very simple beta version of the tool. So we had that Ecom Brand Builder mastermind community test it. They used it a lot and they gave us feedback. Honestly, it was horrible. It was not
At the beginning, yeah.
yeah, a good launch.
Mm,
But because of that feedback that we relentlessly collected, we
mm,
were able to improve it and
yeah.
make it flawless for any user to use and fixed, I would say, at least 90% of the issues when we launched. And when we publicly launched about 3 years ago, it was already better than anything else in the market.
Okay, so basically the software help you analyze your listing and know which images are better. What is the main features of the software?
Yeah, the software. So initially, when we started, we realized no one's letting you watch how customers interact with your listings on Amazon. Something that usertesting.com has done for softwares, and it's like a $2 billion company with a B, and they've been used quite a lot, but no one's done it for e-commerce for some reason. So our initial offer was like, you're going to use this video feature where people can record themselves interacting with Amazon search results, with your listing, with your best-selling competitor listings. So that Pinion video feature was our main differentiator in the beginning. But also, what the community really liked too is we built out a true coded Amazon search simulation. So when you do split testing polls, something any Amazon seller will be familiar with, um, you don't just split test on a white background with no context, not understanding what it's for. But we introduced what is now widely used, and it's simulated, and so it looks exactly like Amazon. So people who provide feedback have really good idea why they have to provide it, and they explain why they choose A or B or C, in the environment of Amazon. So that definitely helps getting more relevant responses and more helpful information from the shoppers.
Okay, perfect. So you provide the software, but also the community of tester that will test the listings, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Community was also a big part of it. I'll help you add to it, Nas. It was not easy in the beginning because what we learned, there are businesses who develop bots who pretend to be humans for all of these kind of tasks that we would ask them to do. So one of the things that we have a patent pending for is how we filter the the accounts of shoppers, how we verify their information, how we verify that they're actually the kind of demographic they claim to be. So that's been quite a work in progress, and our tech team has been genius in tackling these challenges. So it's definitely a big part of the software.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So at the beginning, you started without a technical founder?
We started initially with the beta version, I think. We started without technical founder, but very soon he joined our team.
Okay, okay. Because it can be challenging to start a tech
Very
product without
challenging.
a technical founder. You have to trust some agencies. You don't know really what they are doing, etc. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
been challenging.
you know the drill.
Yeah. So what are the next step for you? What is the goal for you for the next weeks, maybe months?
I think we'll do more of what we do well, but we also experiment a lot. Some of the things we recently introduced that I can already talk about are Variationizer. So it's a tool within Product Opinion Suite that allows you to leverage AI to create image variations. So we realized the big struggle from most brands to create more versions that you can split test is actual creative. So it takes a lot of back and forth. It's expensive. You need to find a creative person or agency, and very often it doesn't last long. You need to find someone else because you're not very happy. It's very subjective. So to skip all this struggle, we developed this tool called Variationizer, and people can even sign up for it without having to have an account with Product Opinion. It's variationizer.com and it's free for now. We don't even make money on it yet. It's essentially in beta, but at some point we'll start charging something, and it allows you to create quick changes to your existing image or even develop new images. But what it's built for is mainly to create small adjustments. We call it AI eye candy. So like ribbons, tags, stuff that lets you stand out from the search results. You can easily generate it using the AI mechanism and add it to the image, make small adjustments, and save and split test right from there. So that's another big one that became pretty popular recently. And one other thing, obviously, AI is dominating the world. So Rufus is a big part of Amazon shopping experience now. And something everyone's talking about these days is optimizing for Rufus. And the way you optimize for Rufus is not only done with copy, but also visually. As we all know now, Amazon scans all the images and can recognize the text, can recognize what's happening in the image, can recognize the avatar of people on the image to see if it's actually the best match for the shopper searching for this. So all of these things you can also quickly test using our other tool. Again, another free one. It's called Image Check, but check with K, not CK, imagecheck.com. And all you do is upload your images and you can see what Amazon's AI will recognize there. So, very helpful tool as well. There are quite a few other things that are in development, so I can't announce just yet. But I think the name of the game in the software space, just like with Amazon brands, is always being up to date, always experimenting, always launching. If you stay stagnant, you'll die pretty soon. Kind of have to be agile and move with the flow.
That will be a very nice conclusion for this first podcast. Thank you for sharing all of that. You show me the image check tool, which is a free one. It was very amazing because as you are saying, Amazon is more and more focusing on images, so it's important to see what Amazon sees in order to rank well. So we'll share all this tool in the description. And is there a way we can contact you if someone wants to contact you? Maybe on LinkedIn?
100%. I'm
Yeah.
pretty much on all of the social media. Mostly active on LinkedIn, and you can just find me by my name, Andri Sadlak, AndriSadlak.
Yeah.
Or if you prefer, just jump on a quick call. You can shoot me an email. It's Andri, Andri, at productopinion.com.
Okay, great. Thanks, Andri, for sharing all your story. I have just one more question. Is there any YouTube channel or podcast you do follow and you want to recommend?
Um, I like following a few people in the space. There's not one that's my favorite, but I would say Adam Heist is one of my friends who I greatly respect, and his information is always up to date. So you can definitely follow his channel. Brandon Young is one of our friends too that I look up to in many ways. Well, I can continue on and on. It would be unfair for me not to mention everybody, but
Yeah.
if you just follow me, you'll probably see me share some of the best information as well, including these people.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for taking the time to share your story, Andri, and see
So,
you maybe in the next episode.
Jonas,
Well, yeah.
appreciate
See you.
being here.